Howdy everyone, Runt9 here, and welcome back to Runt9 Plays Nova Drift. In the last one, we did a dart spam palette cleanser and had a ton of fun. Didn't quite make it as far as we probably should have, but you know what? You live and you learn. So what do I want to do on this one? You know what? I think it's high time that I learn how to properly handle a crash damage build. And, and by crash damage build, I mean specifically a shield breaker build. And that's one that I tend to screw up fairly often. But I'm pretty sure that if we go Halo along with Hull Breaker, we would want to take Amp later. And then Hull Breaker. And you don't do a bunch of crash damage at first, because you actually can't handle the crash damage. You can't handle the truth. Because if you do the crash damage, you will actually just die. Like, you see, we took half of our shield and damage there. But what we can do is get up close, get some shield ticks going, and then, you know, maybe we'll pop him one. Nah. I think Galvanic Outburst is okay, but I'm pretty sure that we want more things like Slipstream. Or, well, obviously we want shield cooldown for volatile shields. That's an important one. I think that Discharge is okay, but I think we actually want to go, I forget what it's called, but the mod that makes it to where you can no longer use your weapon, you can only use other sources of damage. And so you can also do a build like this with Firefly, which I haven't tried before, but you add things like Scorching Wake and stuff like that. Volatile shields, obviously a big part of a shield breaker build. And, you know, I'm also probably going to build this completely wrong the first time. So, you know, don't be offended if this is one of your favorite builds and I make it look bad. So that's a good example of kind of what it should look like. Not really, but obviously you want improved thrust, because I believe that damage, yeah, is boosted by high speeds. And crashing head-on, you penetrate targets, which is great if you can actually do that. So our shield popped. We want flash shielding as well, I believe. I think that's an important part. And so the reason why I picked Flak as a weapon is because you want a weapon that's good in the early game to get you by until you have all the pieces of the puzzle to do regular shield breaker type things. And so I think like Defiance and stuff like that are important. Yeah, like against a baby jug, there's not much that we can do. Like if I go do that, yeah, obviously the volatile shields is handy, but now we're down our shield and potentially very vulnerable. I actually think that Ataraxia on this build is pretty good. I'm not sure it's great, and then I will take Obsession. Flash shielding, definitely a big pickup. And, you know, we may even want to pick up at least a couple of weapon mods, but, I mean, we can tear through a baby jug kind of easily. And at least as it is right now, I'll just go get the kill like that. I'm pretty sure that regeneration is also an important part of this. And again, like, I don't necessarily know how to properly do a shield breaker build. This doesn't add any... No, it doesn't add any crash damage reduction, so I don't think we want that. I'm pretty sure we don't want Streamline. Yeah, I think we only want Juggernaut, even though it does increase thrust, which is beneficial. We do want to go shield durability. We are going to want Deadly Wake as well. And I mean, I'm okay turning this into kind of what you do with Firefly, but just shield breakery. But I would prefer... I think Hidden Power is the one I was thinking of, by the way. Yeah, Barrier is a good one. It does lower your shield cooldown, though. Actually, Barrier is bad because then we would never pop volatile shields. Or pop it very easily, I should say. Death Blossom actually seems kind of good. It'll fire a bunch of flak projectiles, which can also help with wave clear. Okay, so against this guy, I'm going to go for crash damage. and then wait for shield to be off cooldown and play it safe until then. And this is why Flak is a good choice for shield breaker as far as I know, because it's so good in the early game. I think stabilization is nice as well, but I'm just bad with that tree. Rampage is super spooky, but I'm pretty sure that Rampage is also another one that's fairly common, but I'm not going to take it right now. I think that that's just kind of bad. Obviously, you don't want rapid reconstruction. I think that regenerative shields can maybe be decent. Skirmish you definitely want. Plus crash damage. Blitz is good. Terminate is good. And Essence Sap. I'm pretty sure Essence Sap is bad. But we definitely want Skirmish. Not that we're necessarily going to be doing a combination of both, but it does just flat increase crash damage, which is important. And basically, you just get to the point where you're flying across the screen holding the W key, and everything just kind of dies. Alright, Max Hull. You know what? I think Deadly Wake is probably a good one to pick up here. And does Core Shielding do crash damage? It does not. It does not do crash damage resistance. Actually, you know what? Let's just focus on that, because that's going to be our main damage source. I hate it when the big O is turned kind of like this direction. It makes it difficult to squeeze in there, but... So that's using volatile shields to your advantage, and then you don't do it until your shield is off cooldown. Alright, we gotta get out of here. Yeah, as far as I know, Shield Breaker, and again, like, I'm experimenting because I don't know. I tend to not like crash damage builds. I like weapon damage builds. But I know that this is one of the more powerful builds that exists. I just don't run it very often, so I don't necessarily know how to build it effectively. Now we get in here and we volatile shields and we do a bunch of crash damage. Oh, actually, volatile didn't even pop. Now it popped. And then you just kind of let Flak do what it does. We do have Terminate, so it should be dead any second. Okay, that took a moment, but I'll take it. So from here, shield effect radius is interesting because this would give us plus max shields. I don't know that we care though. Hidden power, like, we're not even remotely close to wanting to take that, but we definitely do want hidden power at some point. Removes all weapon and construct mods. I mean, we do want it, but just we can't right now. Blitz is obviously a good pickup because we will be hitting enemies that haven't taken damage yet quite a lot. Volatile Shield's doing what it does. Discharge I don't think is very good here. I'm actually going to re-roll that. Kinetic Boost, obviously a big pickup, but I think Juggernaut is easily the most important one here because of crash knockback resistance and crash damage, increased crash damage. I think, like, one of the big things that helps is adding in not crash damage resistance, hull damage resistance. And doing enough crash damage that it also doesn't matter that you hit an enemy because they just die before their crash damage is reflected back at you. I don't think any of that made any sense. You know, I'm trying to focus heavily on, like, learning what I'm doing here. And I have a feeling that I'm doing a fairly poor job of explaining, not just to you guys, but also to myself. Okay, this seems rough. One moment, please. Force armor. Crash knockback resistance. Crash damage. Crash knockback to targets. Hull damage resistance. Crash damage gains a 25% blast radius. I think that's a good one as well. Okay, I took bad damage there, and so our shield is down. And I'm pretty sure that when our shield is down, we don't want to do potentially troubling things. I don't like this at all. That was very bad. Okay. Still learning how this works. Absorption is just generally good. Okay, good crash damage. So we're starting to get there. Now against cluster mines, I'm pretty sure cluster mines are one of the more frustrating things to deal with. And we may end up not going amp, since we already have such a low amount of shield. Good damage there. I feel like it's starting to click. When you're not firing plus regeneration, when you're not firing faster shield cooldown, I'm pretty sure that that's like incredibly important. But I also am sure that we don't want Gemini. I think Gemini doesn't make any sense, but everything else kind of does. Okay, now that's a lot of bad damage. All right, shield is almost off cooldown. 1 second. Actually dodge for a second, though. We need our shield to be off cooldown, is the thing. Can I get shield off cooldown, please? There's just so many light damage hits. Okay, shield is off cooldown. Now we can regen. And then we can do that. Okay, much better. Oof. So this will convert part of our hull into shields, which I think we kind of need. Didn't seem to do very much. Okay, against Scion. Now, Scion is one that I'm like, isn't this like an incredibly difficult boss to shield breaker against? But I may also just be super paranoid about like, how do you get through all the stuff? Maybe you just do it and don't think too hard about it. Like this part, you gotta just get in there, right? We didn't even pop our shield. Okay, so there's volatile shields, and this just seems less than ideal. Oh, we actually didn't have terminate yet. Okay. I didn't even realize we didn't have it. So that's why it took so long to kill the Big O. Alright, so just wait for it to stop doing that. Okay, you just need to die. And then you just do that. I mean, maybe hidden power is something we would need at this point, because I don't think we're doing much with our flak cannon anymore. We need our shield before I'm willing to go back in there. Okay, that does do a good chunk of damage, not gonna lie. So if we just go over here and do that, okay, it dies. Easy enough. I'll take it. I'm starting to get a feel for this. It's difficult, but it also seems good. And then this is definitely one where I'm like, yeah, winnow the crud out of that. I'm not against taking hidden power at this point. Like, I don't think our flak gun is doing that much good for us anymore, and I think we would be better served having our crash damage be the focus. Okay, we have our shield, so just get it to pop. Good stuff. Although I do like being able to deal with cluster mines like this. It is kind of nice. Nicer than it would be, like, crashing through them. Crashing through the mine. In a holo breaker build. Okay, I feel like I almost died there and didn't actually kill everything. Is that just me? Oh, you know what? Kinetic boost seems like an important one. Aegis, Celestial Lance, emergency systems, duh. That's like one of the hugely most important parts of all of this. Get out of there though. All right, this is a lot. I think we're probably just dead. Yeah. I like that we tried. I don't know that we could have really done much better there. Honestly, like, I wanted to say just send it again, and let's practice shield breaker. Because, or no, let's do the same but different, but still the same. Let's go with just flak again, but we're gonna do a Firefly burn damage build. We're gonna grab Apotheosis, and we're gonna grab all the fire damage that we can, go hidden power. You definitely want Halo here. And I will yeet the run and re-roll it if need be, so that we can have Firefly. And we're gonna just go for all of the burn damage. Yeah. Okay, so we have no re-rolls left, but that's fine because we have all the pieces. And I think that we will still do things like volatile shields and whatnot. That's right, hold on. We're not Hullbreaker. Don't do crash damage. Yes, I will actually take Revelation. 110%. There's a number of things that would be good in that slot. Not the least of which being Solar Heart. Defiance and Masochism would also be great. Deadly Wake would be amazing. Or no, Deadly Wake is this one. The other one. You know what I'm talking about. You know what? I don't think I actually realized that Galvanic Outburst did exactly that. So that would be 3 stacks of this. I don't know. I feel like there's better things to spend Revelation on. I will take Improved Thrust, though. And then obviously, I'm fine going Hidden Power as quickly as possible because I'm so used to playing early Firefly like this on builds that don't have a lot of good early game damage going for them. Bravado, again, I think is absolutely a good take on this type of build since it increases, I believe it increases the damage that our Flame from Behind does. See, you also gain more thrust, which makes it easier to dodge things. Okay, let's actually collect the XP. Sorry, I'm having that pain in my shoulder blade again, and it's causing some issues right now. I got to get this position more correct. I think Blink is an interesting thought. It does do a small bit of damage, but I don't think I want that. Do we want Tempest Break? Your shield only begins cooldown when it breaks. I actually think that's perfectly fine. So we are going to want Streamline on this one. And I realize now that we should have taken that on the shield breaker build. Gemini, definitely a good pickup. We're not going to want Essence. Well, actually, maybe we do want Essence Sap, now that I think about it. Skirmish, I think, is a good pickup. And then I will take Obsession, even though we already have Revelation. I think that it's kind of just a must-have at this point. And so I also am like, do I really want to do Apotheosis? Because I know that I screw up Apotheosis all the time. Because I forget that I have it. Or not forget that I have it, but I forget what you can and can't actually thrust through. Okay, we have to play safe here and actually dodge and be careful for a moment. Definitely don't want Gemini Protocol. Shield durability, I do think we want. And just play safe for a second here. Let the Jug die. And then go this direction. So we have Deadly Wake. That's a good pickup. We have a bunch of Thrust, which aids with adding to our Giant Butt Flame. So honestly, like at this point, I would take Hidden Power if it was offered to us. I don't think we have enough alternate sources of damage for it to offer it to us yet, though. So we're going to need like Volatile Shields and a couple other things first. Okay, Defiance is one where I'm like, yes, I will actually take that because of the self-damage resistance. Again, Hidden Power is offered to us. But I think Defiance is definitely one to pick up with Revelation. Because we also have Obsession, this is going to hit 4 times. Because this means we can go Dying Star as well, which adds a lot to a Firefly, burn all the things to the ground build. Let's just hope that we don't go the same route that the show by the same name did and end too soon. I mean, obviously, Hull Strength is good. We're probably going to still want to pick up this for increased regen. I think Energized Shields is also a big one, since it increases shield cooldown and increases shield power based on how fast we're going. We do need to get into the Candescence tree, though. That's an important pickup that we haven't seen yet, and we definitely need it. You can see, like, we do so much more by having so much thrust. And this, like, this is more comfortable for me than the Hull Breaker build. Or the Shield Breaker build, I guess I should say. That's its quote-unquote official name. Official, unofficial name. Juggernaut reduces thrust, and so I don't think we actually want that, even though the crash damage stuff is kind of nice, as is the max hull. I think we take Absorption and Force Armor, but not Juggernaut. I'll go ahead and take Absorption. Regenerative Shields is kind of a nice thought. Yeah, you know what? I think we will take that. And then Force Armor again, I think it's a good pickup. I also realize I'm kind of stuttering a lot, and I'm not sure what's up with that. So against Big O, this is where you just kind of sit here and burn it up to death with your thrusters. And you can see, like, damage output is not a problem. I haven't used our weapon. So if we had hidden power, we'd still be perfectly okay. Now granted, at this point, since we still have our weapon, don't be afraid to use it when you're in a situation like this, where you probably should use it. Got some upgrades. Focus on that for a second. Shield cooldown, definitely want that. That's an important one to have. Okay, we do want to, like, not die, though. That is kind of an important thing. Oh, we have boost. I was like, hold on, I don't remember us being that fast. Okay, can we get in here and, like, do this little game to kill it with fire? Volatile Shields, definitely a big pickup. And then there's Candescence. That's what we needed for a big uptick in our burn damage capabilities. So you want to just get this bad boy burning. And with the fire damage, his shield doesn't actually, like, shoot back at you like it does there. So crash damage, still not our strong suit. Burn damage, definitely starting to get up there. We want to get through that tree as quickly as possible, though. Volatile Shields actually would have been nice if it would have hit. But it's okay. Oh, the Comet was kind of bad, but also kind of good. Okay, I think it's time to go ahead and take Hidden Power. You know what? Forget about firing, just focus on burning.
You smell like burning.
That's right, I've played League of Legends before. I'm also pretty sure I've made that reference on this channel. I just don't remember if it was in Nova Drift or not. So now we just kind of fly around in circles and use the behind portion of our ship to burn everything to death. Oh, you're gonna shoot me with a laser? Are you sure, though? I don't think you are. I'm gonna just go back and forth on you. And this will be a nice peaceful run. Peaceful in the sense that there's not much to worry about. You just kind of fly around in circles until everything is dead. Field effect radius would be kind of a nice one to have, that's for sure. I mean, that's 2,000 a tick. That's not a small amount of damage. All right, double eclipse across the sky. Actually, an incredibly annoying combination, I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay, we need to get more up on that burn damage tree. Terminate, also a huge pickup here. Corrosion, big time. Purge, yes. Okay, let me make sure I understand this, because I haven't taken Purge in forever. Crash damage head-on, remove any ignites, trigger purge, creates a caustic nova that rolls over targets, scales with combined burning damage it's taking, duration scales with a combined duration, purge can be triggered on any one target every 2 seconds. Okay, gotcha. So we do have to trigger head-on, apply directly to the forehead. I think we do want Tempest Break so that we don't interrupt our shield cooldown. So I actually will go ahead and pick that up, even though it's a little spicy. And you know what? We kind of go through those enemies, but man, that is a lot of good burn damage. Corrosion is putting in work. We are gonna want. Actually, you know what? I was gonna say Rupture would have been nice, but we have Hidden Power, so we can't actually do that. So you're burning a lot. What happens if we Purge and Volatile Shields at the same time? Self-damage resistance, we're gonna want that because of Dying Star, which I think we need core shielding for Dying Star anyways. And you're just dead from burning. Okay, that was pretty easy. I haven't done this build in quite some time since I actually got a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more skill at the game. This is actually pretty solid. It's not bad. We still don't have all of the top tier stuff for this either. Again, I'm not necessarily sure that we're going to go Apotheosis, but it's a thought. Yeah, I think Scorching Wake is a good pickup, and then there's Tempest Break, also a good pickup. So now we just, like, do all of the burn damage. So why don't we go for Purge plus Volatile Shields? Okay, that seemed to do some decent damage. We do need to regen, but, you know, that's a thing that just kind of happens. You got to be careful with Celestials, though. Their fire trails do a lot of damage if you're not necessarily thinking about it. That was also a lot of dumb damage to take, but we're okay. We're good. I still wish that we had a little bit more regen, but it's not bad. It just definitely could be better. Okay, so that was significantly easier than the first time we faced one of those, to say the least. Erosion helps out a lot with some of the riff-raffy waves. And I mean, emergency systems is one of those that I'm like, we should really make sure that we're prioritizing that. But again, I think that Apotheosis is one of those that I'm likely to screw up, but it also just seems so fundamental to not having to do the circle thing. You just fly back and forth over the tops of enemies. That was a little bit of damage that we took. And the just swarm of XP bubbles. So yeah, kinetic boost. I think we want to get to emergency systems as quickly as possible. I know Celestial Lance does burn damage as well, but again, like, we need all the self-damage reduction we can get before we even think about that. And Adrenal Module is global damage, so as we take damage, then we apply more burn damage, which is definitely a good thing. You can see, like, we're stacking up a ton of burn stacks. So why don't we go for a Volatile Shields Purge crack at him there? I mean, that seemed to do some decent damage, and our shield comes off cooldown very, very quickly. I do not want to do that again, though, because we need to regen first. Oof, okay. Taking a bunch of damage there. So Celestial Lance is... you take self-damage as long as you remain at high speeds. Yep. Okay. Let me re-roll. Aegis, that gets us closer to emergency systems, and again, I think emergency systems is a really important one. Now that I think about it, because we're doing all this burn damage, we actually shouldn't have gone into the regeneration tree and should have just gone for Essence Sap. But I think Essence Sap is overpowered with burn damage, and I should have realized that, considering that I talked about it literally in the last episode. Those kills are very easy. You know, that's not difficult at all. Just kind of fly around in circles and things will melt. I mean, literally. We're burning them to death. You know what? Take Essence Sap here. Because it works off of burn damage, right? Yes, it absolutely works off of burn damage. So that's going to be way more regen than the alternatives. So this dude, why don't you... You know, we need to go ahead and have our shield get popped. So you've got a bunch of burn damage on you. Have a purge. Oh my god, that was such an insane amount of damage. And we healed up a lot because of Essence Sap. Volatile shields took care of the rest, and then just light you on fire, so Essence Sap will heal us. Yeah, okay. We should have taken Essence Sap from the beginning. I'm kind of dumb for not thinking of it sooner. We need to get to core shielding. I mean, emergency systems. Like, absolutely yes. Abso-freaking-lutely on that one. And yeah, okay, Essence Sap is just an obscene amount of regen, and this is an obscene amount of damage. I cannot believe that I haven't done this build sooner. This is so much fun. I'm greatly enjoying this. Emergency systems, putting in some good work there. And basically, like, there's a very short window of time where emergency systems is having to do its work. Or after emergency systems is gone, but before a shield comes back up. And then there's purification. More burn damage, more ignite duration, more hull and shields recovered. Lower weapon damage doesn't matter because we burn everything to death. We are basically Trogdor. This is the true Trogdor build. I think I just saw an 8,000 damage tick. Like, why don't we go for a purge here? Yeah, okay. That's not strong or anything. Just burn him to death, dude. I'll show you Spitfire. Shoot. And it's like, I don't even mind that our shield doesn't begin cooldown until it breaks, because I'm like, go ahead and let it break. It comes back off cooldown so quickly that it doesn't even really matter. Oh, no, 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 no. You don't take me into the singularity. That's not a thing that happens. Just light them on fire and let Essence Sap do what it does. Cluster mines are a problem. But as long as they only hit shields, then it doesn't really matter because we're going to heal back the damage very quickly from a shield cooldown perspective. That's one where I'm like, just go do crash damage. I want full shields again. And these guys, I mean, just do that and they're dead. Okay, but there's also like a loot explosion that we need to pick up. An explosion of XP. And purge. Okay, that's pretty good. Not gonna lie. That's pretty nice. And then you just dodge those and fly by, and yeah, it just all just kind of dies. And when you have emergency systems triggered, just fly through enemies. And it said that's a bad habit to get into because that's super spooky. All right, Blitz. No, I don't think so. Channeling, yes. More armor stack duration. Rebuke, we're never firing our weapons, so that's not going to actually do anything. It does increase stack duration by a lot. But again, core shielding gets us to Dying Star. That's one that we want. Big time. Alright, so I didn't even realize we were at Seraph time, but this is where, like, this should be one of the easiest Seraph fights ever, because how can we not dodge his lance when we have this much thrust? And why don't we go in for a purge? That was actually kind of a stupid idea, but how are we still at full HP? I legitimately have no idea. Like, this is an incredible build. This is literally like one of the best Seraph killers I've ever seen. Just purge him. Okay, so that's just super, super easy. Because you just dodge his lance. I mean, we didn't even necessarily have to dodge his lance. I head first bumped into him multiple times while he was lancing us. So, yeah, this is a fun build. I don't really know what else to say. I'm just kind of like mesmerized by the enjoyment of flying around in circles and watching things just die before anything happens. So, this is the real question. Can we survive this? What's our self-damage resistance at? 60%? Okay, it actually doesn't get much higher than that. So yes, we should be able to handle Dying Star as long as we can Essence Sap up. As you guys probably have seen the episode where I took Dying Star on something, I don't remember what it was, to try to make Rancor pop off even more, and it ended up being a terrible idea. But with 60% self-damage resistance, it's actually not that big of a deal. So emergency systems pops, we get back up, and we're good to go. And then Essence Sap can put in the requisite work to do the rest of the dirty work for us. So this is more of a fun hidden power build for me. Like, the Shield Breaker takes so long to get going. I mean, once it gets going, I know that it's, again, one of the best builds in the game. But this is just easy. You start off with something that's good in the early game and just keep going up from there. I'm not going to take Celestial Lance. Reflexive Shields seems pretty interesting, but I think there's just going to be better stuff out there for us. I'm tempted to take Celestial Lance. It's spooky, but I think we might be able to take it. We don't want to take other enemy damage, like we want to dodge things, but okay, so that works. Dying Star takes care of these guys pretty easily. Yeah, okay. This is kind of easy. I mean, it's simultaneously one of the easiest and one of the most difficult builds I've ever played. It's difficult because it requires the finesse of the management of when your shield is on cooldown and everything, and making sure that you don't, like, self-damage yourself to death. But it's easy in the sense that, again, like, I'm just kind of flying around having a good time, and things are dying. Kind of cool. And there's Corrosion with literally one of the best ASMR sounds in the world. Lo-fi worm deaths to... lo-fi chill worm deaths to study to. I know I've made that joke a few times, but it's never not satisfying is the thing. That's why I make that joke every time. Sorry, my contacts are a little bit dry. The light is kind of bright, and I probably should have turned it down a little bit. I do think that Masochism is a good pickup here. Oh, you know what? I should be on the experimental branch. I forgot that Chimeric pushed some cool stuff out. Got some new UI fixes, some menu screen stuff. And it's incredible. And our shield comes back up so quickly that it's not really too big of a deal. Alright, it's kind of hard to see right now. Alright, just get them lit up. Good stuff. Clap. And then Dying Star just really crushes these types of waves. Like, they are dead before they can even think. Boom. It's a lot of fun. I know that I'm gonna keep saying it. Like, I'm gonna repeat myself a lot because I'm learning how to pilot this effectively. And I know that I'm not piloting it effectively right now, but that's why I said learning. And so it's requiring a good bit of brain power and precision to do it the way that it needs to be done. Slipstream is just global damage. Energized shields, though. Faster shield. Actually, you know what? We want a lot of energized shields. It's faster shield cooldown and shield effect power. So our shield does even more burn damage when it hits enemies. And it comes off cooldown faster. Oh my god, I love the sound. My lord, that helps so much with getting our shield off cooldown. I think Energized Shields is one of those that you need a lot on Shield Breaker. And I just forgot about it. So, like, taking dumb damage is still, like, recommended that you don't do that, but... Goodness. This is where I'm like, I kind of want to take Hypothesis, even though I know that I tend to screw it up. Because I think we can handle some of the crash damage that we would take. So that we can just fly over and through enemies. Okay, that was a bunch of damage. 1 second. Our shield is off cooldown, but we need Essence Sap to help. And it doesn't help as much when we have this much self-damage. Let Celestial Lance cool down for a second. Not cool down, but like stop being as devastating to us. Okay, there we go. We're in a better spot now. Trying to figure out where we want to go next. I think Shield Effect Radius is also a good pickup because of the Halo Shield that we got going on. And then again, you just kind of fly around and let Dying Star clear that wave out. It deals with it nice and quick-like. I didn't even realize how quickly we've gotten up to 600k as well. Okay, just trying to find my ship in the mass of orange and fire stuff, which our ship blends in a lot on celestial waves, I'm not gonna lie. I got a little bit spooked there, but we are perfectly fine. Maybe don't be as aggressive with the crash damage. Like, still, the majority of our damage is coming from things like Dying Star and our thrust coming from behind us. And, I mean, Celestial Lance is doing good stuff too, but Purge is not, like, the be-all, end-all damage dealer. So don't treat it like it is. Okay, go kill this stuff back here. And let's get in here and do some burn damage, shall we? Okay, and then we'll go for a Purge. At that point, I'm like, he has so many freaking Ignite stacks on him that, yes, I think Purge is a good option. A good finisher. Like, using Purge as a finisher, not a beginner, is probably the right way to use it. Since it scales based on how many Ignites are already on them. I'm not gonna lie, like from a pure damage output perspective, this may legitimately be one of the highest DPS runs I've ever had. And that's saying something. I've had some incredible stuff before. You guys have seen the dart spam run. You saw the 1.8 million salvo run before. And I think that this just disintegrates everything. I mean, you saw how quickly we killed that boss again. I do not think we want Radiant Shields. Focus Shields is... it puts it back to where it was before, but gives you plus max shield and another 25% effect power. So that'll increase the damage of it quite a bit. I do think that Juggernaut is a very tempting thing to take, but I will actually just take Focus Shields. That way, if anything does get inside our shield, they are really dead. Or really going to take a lot of burn damage. I honestly don't even remember how to get to Hypothesis. I don't remember what the pieces of the puzzle are. I think we have to get all the way through the stabilization tree, and it's part of... it requires Strafe. Which at this point, like, we're level 42. There's not many upgrades left, and I don't necessarily want to dive into the stabilization tree at this point. I think we mostly just want to focus on survivability and wild mods at this point. So like even a wave like this that normally is frustrating and difficult to deal with, it's just like, but they're just all dead. They're just all burned to a toasty crisp. Like I can just sit here and they'll just die before they get to us. I'm not going to because I want to like get some damage down on that dude, but look at that. I'm mesmerized. I'm amazed. Like I know that this is not necessarily a common build, but a well-known build. And so I'm not like inventing anything here, but I'm stunned that I haven't tried this or played this more. Like I think I tried it a couple times and I just died because of Apotheosis ruining me. Or taking Dying Star and not having the self-damage resistance to support it. Just purge you. Yeah, let Volatile Shield do the work. And okay, this is potentially a lot of projectiles. Just kind of make sure you're dodging. Okay, there we go. We're good. We're safe. Double Celestials, not a problem. And then the shield is off cooldown again. You just turn these enemies and these waves into loot fountains. I really wish that I would have tried something like this before. And I wish I had learned like how good Flash Shielding, Tempest Break, and Energized Shields was. Like, you count to 3 and our shield is off cooldown again. I mean, yes, like, obviously the damage and everything is great, but just from a survivability standpoint, there's so many times that I'm like, oh, we're definitely dead here. And we're not because our shield comes back off cooldown so quickly. Like, right there, I'm like, honestly, I know I can go for the purge and we'll be okay because of everything else going on. And the shield cooldown and everything. I actually have an upgrade. So another couple Scorching Wakes is tempting. I'm going to dig a little bit and just kind of see if there's something that we'd rather have. Flipstream is tempting, but I think the friction is probably going to be more trouble than it's worth. Solar Heart, I think, pushes the self-damage too far. Because we have a lot of wild mods. Yes, X% burn damage is incredible, but it would double down, and we would be taking just a massive amount of damage. And that, combined with Dying Star, I don't think we can afford it. We are pretty much capped at self-damage resistance as well. I think the cap is 75. I'm pretty sure this is where we take Rampage and just learn to live with it. Like, we already are pretty much always going to be thrusting. So just kind of deal with it and deal with, you know, enjoy the fact that we have an additional 14% global damage just by taking that. Okay, Essence Sap, I need you to do work for us, please. Because I ran right through the Spitfire attack because I'm dumb. Okay, we're mostly good at this point. Between the shield cooldown, Essence Sap being overpowered because it works on burn damage when it really shouldn't, and just the sheer amount of damage we can output so enemies aren't really alive long enough to put out large amounts of damage. Like, our survivability is significantly better than I would have expected for a build like this. Honestly, like, I'm not even noticing Rampage that much because I was already doing so much constant thrusting. I see why people take Rampage on these builds. Like, you honestly kind of get used to it. Like, I wouldn't take it on most weapon builds, especially ones that require precision, but this is actually kind of easy. We're at wave 200. Radio Silence. Ion is dead. Go ahead, hit me. You're gonna do more damage to yourself than you'll do to me. Still radio silence. Okay, so that was a wave 200 kill. And legitimately, far and away, the easiest wave 200 kill of my life. I wasn't even really trying to focus on either one. I just flew around in circles, and before I knew it, the Scion was dead. And it was like, okay, now just... You've already beaten this Seraph once doing this, and you're significantly more powerful than you were last time, so just do that again. At this point, he's probably burning for enough that we probably can just focus on dodging. Okay, this is a little spicy. Not a fan of that. We do have an upgrade. There we go. Got the big jug down. I'm really curious how far we can take this. I feel like we're probably going to top out soon just because I know that it's starting to get overwhelming and our lack of inherent tankiness is starting to be a problem. But, I mean, it was a 13,000 damage tick. We usually get that by doing dart spam builds. Also, hello lag. That's when you know you're doing good work. I mean, it's in like 5 worm type enemies at us. Hello, Seraph. Is this what we're doing? We're gonna fight? Gonna circle strafe you, brother. We've got an upgrade ready as well, by the way. Phantom Strike. Crash damage and crash damage resistance. I don't even care about the rest of it. That's like an easy choice. That makes Purge that much more powerful in our arsenal. Like, do we have a weapon that we can fire after we teleport to the other side? No. Does it matter? No. Alright, don't crash yet. Now crash. I mean, I was trying to get the Purge to get the kill, but it ended up not really mattering. Hey, you do gotta be careful though. Like, you do gotta be careful. It's not all as easy as it seems. This is just incredible. I mean, granted, this is also probably one of the most cohesive builds I've ever built. That I built. Like, again, this is pretty much something that I know already exists and people run on their own. But I legitimately am glad that I didn't take Hypothesis because I think it's better this way. That I don't put myself in that position where I might screw it up big time. Okay, big jug and a Scion. This, if we're going to die, it's probably going to be right here. You can't deny that that timing was incredible. I called that one. I saw that there was just too much going on and we were at half HP going into that wave. I'm going to be doing that one again. That was astoundingly fun. I love that build. That was very much... This is the pinnacle of a Trogdor build. That is our second highest score yet, and I'm hogged out of my mind. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, the single best thing you can do to support the channel is clicking the like button. That sends a message to the YouTube algorithm that more people should see this video, and so if you think that more people should see it, make sure you hit that like button. In addition, subscribe to the channel because I put out a lot of good content, and if you liked this, then you'll probably like the rest of what I put out. Also, there's a link tree in the description below that has links to Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. You can go hang out with the community, see our streams 5 days a week. But otherwise, until the next episode, I'm Runt9, and I'll see you later.